welcome to a special edition of Franchise Designs I'm Possible. I wanted to come up and kind of share with you guys something that I'm about to journey into that I've been dealing with for about 2 years now. So I felt the need to share it on my channel because I'm sure that there are other couples and women who are going through the same thing I'm going through. So many of you have heard me speak of my husband. I am married, and we have always wanted to increase our family. Well, after trying for many years prior to us getting married, and after we actually got married, we realized we were not successful. So we kind of gave up on the idea because we knew that him being a veteran at that particular time, the VA medical center did not provide IVF care for veterans and their spouses. And that pretty much was what we were going to have to do. We were going to have to go IVF. We had already did research, talked to doctors, and they all informed us IVF is going to be your best route. So my husband, during Pillow Talk one night, said, "Hey, did you know that the VA finally approved IVF for veterans?" I said, "Oh, awesome. Well, what's the criteria?" Because it's always a catch with the VA. And he explained the criteria, and he explained that we were a match and that for all general purposes, we should get approved. So we started the process in 2018 to get the insurance with the VA Medical Center. And if you're not familiar with the VA Medical Center, that is the health care provider that provides health services for veterans who have been discharged in good conditions. So we filled out the paperwork beginning in 2018. Florence hit. And we had to put trying to get pregnant on a back burner because we had to search for a new house, file insurance claims because we were renting, and we pretty much lost everything. If you're not familiar with Hurricane Florence, it pretty much decimated a lot of North Carolina, and that's where we're located. So we put it on the back burner, bought a house. Yes! The most stressful process ever, I feel, in getting married is buying a house. So we bought a house. And we agreed we were going to wait until we got situated and comfortable in said house before we ventured out to try to get the approval once again. So the new year comes, it's 2019, and it's about January-ish, I think, January, February. My husband comes back, he said, "Let's pick up the paperwork again." So we do. And we get approved for his portion. And it's a long, tedious step, and it will have to be a separate video for me to explain exactly what we had to do. So we do the separate part, we do his part, we get approved, and we get down to where they're doing all the pre-op tests. They found a doctor who would perform all the necessary procedures and tests that the VA required for him to do. We get all the way up to procedure day. We drive him to the facility for said procedure, and they tell us the facility is not covered by the insurance company that the VA partnered with. The doctor's covered, but the facility isn't. So they couldn't perform the procedures that day. We got irritated. We got discouraged. Well, we did not get defeated. And that's the main thing that we've learned in this process is it's okay to get discouraged. It's okay to get mad. Just don't let it defeat you. So my husband decided he wanted to go do his own homework. He went and did research to find a facility and a doctor that both are received and accepted by, at that time, the VA was using TRICARE West. If you're military, you understand what that means. So they were using TRICARE West at the time. And he found a facility. And said facility took his doctor and TRICARE West. So great. We are set to do the procedure for his procedures in March of this year. We're in 2020. So we were set to do it in March of 2020. No, not March, the beginning of April. And we were a little worried because the initial appointment that he had, a week prior to that, I had to have my gallbladder removed. So we were a little stressed out about whether or not who was going to take care of who, because he was going to be down and out for a while with his procedure, and I was down and out for about 2 weeks. So needless to say, we didn't have to worry about that because COVID happened and it got canceled. So the whole month of April, I'm stressing. Are they going to allow us to have this procedure? Is it going to happen? What's the point? Because if his part didn't get done and they didn't find what they wanted to find as the test results, then it scratched everything because he's the veteran. So we get a phone call the first week of May. North Carolina has decided they're going to open up to phase 1, and the elective procedures, which that's what it's being called, was allowed to be done again. So he gets his procedure done shortly after mid-May. I want to say somewhere between the 5th and the 15th. It was after my birthday, but prior to Memorial Day. I do know that. So he get his procedure done, and I'm not allowed in the hospital. I was allowed long enough to go get his physical belongings off of him and give them my information as next of kin, and then I sat in the car for 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours. I sat in a parking lot waiting on them. So halfway through his procedure, they let me know. They give me a phone call, and they said, we're 2 hours in. We're not done, but I just want to let you know we did locate sperm. Yes! It was what I was thinking. I could hear the crowd echo behind me. They found sperm. And that was one of the things that they had to find. My husband has a service-connected injury, and we were a little concerned that with prolonged damages, we weren't going to be able to naturally conceive anymore. So they found sperm, and the fertility center that we were going through had already examined it by the time they called me, and they said they were looking great. They were very happy. They were very pleased with them, and they got the necessary vials that they needed, and it was safe for us to proceed with IVF. So they said, we'll finish closing up and we'll discuss this at his follow-up appointment. So we were excited. We are going to be able to do IVF because he met his minimum requirement. So it meant now that I had to go and prove my minimum requirement. So I went through all the necessary tests that needed to be done, because I had to prove that I had my own uterus so I could carry the child. I had to prove that I had my own ovaries producing my own eggs, because they will not do donor eggs and they don't pay for surrogacy. And we started that in August. The reason why I did it in August was because we actually officially didn't get fully approved until the end of July. I want to say July 26th or July 27th. And we got fully approved. And yeah, so we're able to do IVF. I was very sitting on pins and needles all of August. And I'll do a separate video just going over some of the tests that I took during the month of August, my pre-diagnostic tests, and the things that I did to get me set up for it. So we get there, and I kind of figured everything was going to work out on my end. I've given birth to children, have carried them full term, no issues. The only thing that was my concern at that point was that I'm 40. So I'm considered advanced maternal age. So I was a little concerned about that, but that's nothing that I felt was a big factor, because I just turned 40 in May. So I did all my testing, and August 27th, I had to do my very last test. So I was like, why have we not heard anything as far as scheduling from the fertility center? Because for me, it wasn't set in stone until we got the appointment set. So we get the appointment set. My husband calls them to verify. We had to, again, do some background searching and some homework on our own. And he was able to get the approval from the VA sent over to the center that we wanted to go to. Our hiccup was they kept saying that on my application they didn't have the facility I wanted to go to. Not true. I did let them know I wanted to go to the fertility center because that's where my husband's sperm is. So it made more sense to go to Duke Fertility Center. So yeah, we go to he goes and he calls on a Monday. And the lady that he spoke to was very nice, very loving, and she helped him out very much and very professional, because we weren't being handled in a professional manner at that point. So with the VA center, let me say that, not the facility center, with the VA center, we weren't really being held with a compassionate customer service person, I should say, or employee. So she was like, Duke Fertility is closed at this point for the day, but first thing tomorrow, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get your stuff faxed over. Call me by noon so I can make sure this is done before I go to lunch, because it's literally just a few keystrokes and you guys are in the system. So that Tuesday morning, my husband gets up, he makes the phone call, and she was like, yeah, I got everything faxed over. Just call back by 2 with the fertility center, verify that they received everything. So they received everything, and she's going through at the fertility center, they're going through the paperwork, verifying that my name is listed on the paperwork for the IVF, because that is pertinent. The spouse has to be listed on the paperwork for the approval, along with the veteran. The veteran has to be first, spouse has to be secondary. On the second to last page is where she sees the approval for my IVF. When she told me on the phone, she initially did not see it. I handed the phone to my husband and I walked away. School was getting ready to start, and I already had paperwork I needed to get printed out for the boys so they could go to school. And I just didn't need that irritation at that moment, because I had to get the kids registered for school. So he comes in and he's like, I need your social. And I'm like, why? Why am I just not that I don't trust my husband, why am I randomly about to give you my social? And he says, because she has to create your own medical file and profile for your IVF appointment. When I tell you, I cried like a baby. I bawled, because this was 2 years of our lives that we were fighting to get approved. And I have spoken with some couples that didn't get approved, and they have the same medical conditions that my husband had, but they didn't get approved. So I'm super excited to say that we're going to begin IVF on September 27th. No, not 27th. September 29th, 2020. September 29th, 2020 at 1 p.m. my IVF journey officially kicks off. I'm so excited. I have my doctor name already. I'm just very ready to start this journey, and I'm very ready to have you guys come along with me on this journey. So please stay tuned. There's going to be a whole lot of other videos that's going to be in this series, and this is just the introductory to what's going to happen. And I felt the need to title this series. So, you ready? IVF, the one where we get pregnant. IVF got this. So, thank you for watching this video. And thank you for following my journey. I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm just super excited, you guys. So thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for the other episodes of the IVF, the one where we get pregnant. IVF got this. See you guys later.